Hello there. Well, I wanted to say before I get into the news that I actually played Mario Kart World. Certain Best Buys were holding events in their parking lot where you could play Mario Kart World in a game truck with other people in person, and it ended up being a tournament. So there were other people there playing with me inside the truck, and I ended up beating them. We were playing the knockout mode, and I was in first for most of the way by a good margin, so maybe I just caught an easy group. They were holding the tournament throughout the day, so it just depended on who came at what time, and maybe I just faced a soft group. Who knows? But they gave me a coin at the end for winning, so I got to try to switch to. I got to try Mario Kart World. It does look fantastic. It's not something I want to pay $500 for yet, but it does look good. I mean, if I had to guess, it's probably the type of game that would get a 9 out of 10 or even a 10 out of 10 from me. I just have to play it more. But now let's talk about the news. The Switch 2 sold 3.5 million worldwide. And I want to talk about that for a second because I was surprised that something so expensive could sell so well. So let's talk about it. It says here on CNBC, Nintendo sold more than 3.5 million units of its flagship Switch 2 gaming system in the 4 days following its launch, with online stores putting up out of stock signs. The record breaking start for the company's first new console in 8 years puts Nintendo on the path to realizing its aim of selling 15 million units of the Switch 2 console in the fiscal year ending March 2026. Let's skip down here. Toto has maintained that the Switch 2 will sell over 20 million units in its first 12 months. David Gibson said that he expects 20 million sales for the year ending March 2026. And yet, their shares in Tokyo listed shares of Nintendo, which have gained nearly 30% so far this year, were down 3.5% on Wednesday. That is strange because normally you think if the sales go up, then the shares should go up as well. But I guess in Tokyo at least, the shares went down by 3.5%. And I just want to give my thoughts on the figure. Is that figure the amount they shipped to retailers, or is that the actual amount that was sold to people? And if it sold 3.5 million, that means there's a lot of average to poor people that bought the console. And that surprises me because 450 for the console, 500 for the bundle, that's a lot of money. And I'm just in disbelief that that many average to poor people would have put up the money to buy a Switch 2 console. And I know people have told me, well, the PS5 has been that way for a long time. The PS5 Pro is out, and that's even more than the Switch 2. Yes, I know. I think the PS5 is a bad purchase as well. And I think at this point you should just buy a PC, a gaming PC, for $1,000. You can do that at Walmart. And as for the Switch 2, I just don't know how many people bought that console unless they were all rich. But they're not. If it sold 3.5 million, there's more people than rich people buying the console. And that just amazes me. And again, I wonder if that figure is the amount that they ship to retailers or if that's the actual amount sold. It's not clear, but in any case, if that's the actual amount sold, there's a lot of average to poor people that bought the console, and that amazes me. And my only conclusion is maybe they use credit. What other way could they have bought it? Because if you have that many people buying a console, there's gonna be poor people buying the console as well. And maybe they bought it on credit, and maybe they see it as a super important purchase that they absolutely need for their family or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know how many people came to the conclusion that spending 450 or $500 is okay. I mean, if you're gonna buy the Switch 2, you're gonna buy Mario Kart World. So basically, either you're buying the $500 bundle, or you're paying 450 and then buying the $80 physical cartridge, and that would be 530. And then you'd probably buy more accessories or extra controller or whatever. It's a lot of money. It adds up. And I just don't know how many people came to the conclusion that it's okay to spend that much money unless they bought it on credit I don't know how else they would do it. In any case, it surprised me, yes. I thought the Switch 2 would sell, but I didn't think it would sell this well. And to sell 3.5 million around the world, assuming that's the correct figure for the amount of people that bought it and not just the amount that shipped to retailers, then that's impressive. I have to tip my hat to Nintendo for selling so many consoles to average to poor people and not just rich people. So, those are my thoughts on the sales figures. Does anyone regret buying the Switch 2? Here on Next, we have Cheeks who wrote, I regret buying Switch 2. No explanation given. And we can scroll down. Let's scroll down to Sentinel, who wrote, I think I regret buying the Switch 2 right now. I'm kind of like, and? Let's scroll down to Dinosaur Cath. If I'm going to be honest and brutally honest, I kind of regret buying a Switch 2 right away because I barely use my Switch, and it's also that Mario Kart isn't the game I had in mind. Interesting. Why would you buy a Switch 2 if you don't like Mario Kart World? Because that's all there is in terms of Switch 2 games, and not just Switch 1 games with extra added on. Sue wrote, I regret buying the Switch 2. I want my money back. Is there a return policy, maybe? Most stores have a return policy. Rayshawn Williams made a video about regretting buying the Switch 2. Honest thoughts. Give him a click later on. Epifanio wrote, why is everyone regretting the Switch 2? I don't plan on buying it anyway, but I want to know now what would the instant regret. So he's hearing a lot of regret out there as well. Down here, Yoink wrote, I regret buying the Switch 2 because I'm only going to use it whenever a new Zelda comes out and then let it rot. Also, $80 for Mario Kart is insane. And maybe we'll do one more. Well, let's read this one. Growl, Bark, Bite. I don't regret buying my Switch 2, but my main issue is that Nintendo had so much time to make a new console and waited as long as possible to reveal it. Then it finally comes out, and there are barely any Switch 2 games. Where are the games? What have they been doing? That is a good question. Let's end with Gabriel. The feel of the console and controls are nice. I regret buying it and wish I hadn't. Every single game that doesn't have a Switch 2 version looks unplayable, blurry in handheld mode. I hate the new Mario Kart. Again, why would you buy Switch 2 if you don't like Mario Kart? That was the only game out there. Donkey Kong doesn't come for another month, and Metroid Prime 4 that comes out later in the year. This is the worst purchase I've made in a while. Wow. So, there are people out there who regret buying a Switch 2. And it's interesting because they hate Mario Kart, usually when they regret it. And that was the main launch title with the Switch 2. So it's surprising that they would buy it anyway if they don't like Mario Kart. In any case, that's my video for today. There are people out there who regret buying a Switch 2. And I just question that sales figure. How did Nintendo convince so many average to poor people to buy Switch 2? And is that 3.5 million figure the amount they sold to people, actual people, or retailers? And yeah, I played Mario Kart World. It's good. I want it, but not right now. Thanks for listening to my video or watching my video, and I'll see you guys soon.